Death Spiral, the only anime podcast officially acquitted by the ICC. Fall 2023 anime lineup. Yes, we are a week late.
That's not that late.
Sorry about that. You know what? We had really important shit to talk about. It just took up too much of our time. But now we are in that time where every hack makes jokes about pumpkin spice lattes, and that means there is new anime, and goddamn, we are both so fucking excited.
Oh, yeah.
Are you excited?
Oh, I was on the edge of my seat. I couldn't wait for some of these new shows.
Literally.
That I've totally heard of and was excited to hear about before today.
You were vibrating in anticipation of this season, because I know some of your favorites are finally getting adapted.
It's true. Well, we'll get to what's coming up, but I did watch some new anime that came out.
I know you were. I mean, like, this season's pretty stacked. We'll get to it. And Nate watched a few of them already. He got the jump on me. But this is a pretty stacked season, and I know, like, I know you texted me super excited. You're like, hey, they're finally doing a adaptation of I'm Giving the Disgraced Noble Lady I Rescued a Crash Course in Naughtiness. You're like, they're finally doing it. Oh my god, you were losing it. I was like, I'm really happy for you, man.
I mean, who hasn't heard of that classic?
Yeah, I mean, it's not my thing. I get why you like it, because it's all creepy and perverted, but, you know, like, I'm happy when you're happy, you know?
I appreciate that about you. You're a real team player.
Yeah. That one is coming out tomorrow, so we can't get your impressions on that yet.
Well, hey, I know you're excited for the 100 Girlfriends Who Really, 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 Really Love You anime to come out.
Yeah, ecstatic. But, you know, the problem with that is it only really picks up around, like, Girlfriend 20, 22, around that period, you know? Everything else is just kind of like runway, if you know what I mean. So if we get a season 3, I'm really looking forward to 100 Girlfriends. Man, are we ever going to get to that 100th girlfriend? I don't know. I'm dying from the suspense.
You read the manga, though, right? How many girlfriends are they actually up to?
I think we are probably mid double digits now.
Okay, all right. That's a pretty fair number of girlfriends.
It's a respectable number if it's somewhere between like 40 and 50 girlfriends. That's a fair amount of girlfriends.
Okay, so I mean, being totally honest here, the gag to me is really funny, but do any of these characters get like featured more than once a chapter?
You know, when somebody told me that a guy has 100 girlfriends, I just laughed my ass off. That was the funniest shit I ever heard. But wait, you're telling me there's more? You know, the thing is,
I mean, excess is funny. That's the joke.
That is an American opinion. I do not endorse that opinion. The thing about 100 Girlfriends, of course, is that, like, it's fun when you're in, like, the mids, like where we are now, like 40 to 50 girlfriends, because now we're like, damn, that's a lot of girlfriends. How could he possibly get more girlfriends than this? But once you get close to, like, 80, 90, you know, where you can see home plate, you really losing the steam of, you know, the anticipation, the excitement, the romance, because you know you're pretty much done. I mean, maybe they squeeze in a couple more memorable girlfriends before hitting 100, but you know the clock's ticking.
Maybe I'm just uncreative, because at that point I feel like it's incredibly hard to make 100 unique girlfriends. There's got to be some repeats.
There are not 100 kinds of girls in the world. I mean, like, let's be honest. Oh, God. Okay, let's talk about the shows you did watch. Let's stop talking
about your horrible opinions on gender.
Let's move from the future to the past, the recent past. You watched some anime, Nate. Now that is atypical of you.
I know. I am an anime podcast host, so normally I don't watch a lot of anime, but I felt like pulling out all the stops for this episode because, again, I was just so excited for this fall season.
Losing shit.
And to kick it off, I watched one that I was looking forward to for ages.
Wait, before you get into it, let's talk me through your process for getting into these shows, because I know last season you had a whole spreadsheet. You were doing shit with rolling dice. There was a pros and cons checklist you were working with.
Well, yes.
What's going on this time?
I tried to go for a little bit more of a naturalistic approach this time.
Laid back.
Yeah, laid back, kind of guide where my sensibilities took me. And so I went to Crunchyroll and sorted by new and clicked the first 4 anime that only had 1 episode out.
Look, when you're out on the frontier, you take life as it comes. That's the rule.
And sometimes it comes hard.
Oh.
You set me up.
Oh, Jesus
It
Christ.
was natural.
Okay, all right. So you clicked number 1 on the most recent list. What was it?
So this is one that I'm assuming flew under your radar because it's not actually an adaptation of anything.
What?
It is an original anime, no manga, no light novel to back it up. So it's out there standing on its own 2 legs.
This is insane what you're telling me right now.
I know. It's never been done before in the history of the genre.
It's an unproven IP?
Yep. They're just throwing this out there.
Brave.
I mean, it is banking a little bit on modern sensibilities. Maybe it is trend writing a little bit, but we'll get there. It was called Paradox Live. And so what this is about is a kind of near futuristic semi-cyberpunk setting of like vague 20XX Japan,
Yeah. How far along are we? Are there flying cars?
There's no flying cars. Everything is still gasoline based, but the main feature is that they being the scientists of the world discovered a
World
new
scientists.
a new metal called phantometal.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah.
I love fantasy metals. Fantasy metals are dope.
Well, it is a fantasy phantom metal.
That's so cool.
And what it does is it is a substance that basically interacts with the body chemistry of whoever is touching it and lets you produce amazing laser light shows that reflect your awesome rapping that you're doing on stage at the time.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, so it is it's a substance, basically. When you interact with it, it lets you form collective illusions in the minds of an audience that equate to
What?
putting on a kick-ass show.
Are you telling me this is some kind of offensive hallucinogen?
It's not quite offensive. It's more supplementary to the rap battling that is the main premise of the show.
But it is imposed on people, like, without consent.
Well, it's something that only rich people get.
So, yes.
Yes.
Okay. All right. That is a weird application of fantasy metal, but I'll take it. Mm-hmm. And how's the rapping?
Not great.
It's not good?
Well, there's barely any in the first episode, so I can't actually say that with conviction yet, but it's not great what is in there. Okay, so the premise of the show is our main group. We have an anime trio. We have a plucky shonen kid, a stuck-up rich kid, and a girl.
Hell yeah. So we've got our Naru Sasukura.
Yes. And they form the main J-pop group that is our protagonist.
Okay.
They have a group called BAE. Bay.
Bay?
Yep.
Does that stand for something?
No. At least not that they revealed yet.
No. Okay.
Yep.
Bay.
All capitals, said like an acronym, but again, no explanation on what that might be. And so not only are they a J-pop group, although that's...
Oh, Bay! Best at everything.
Of
course. Of course. It makes sense. Makes sense now. Sorry, go ahead.
So not only are they a J-pop group, they're also like extremely rich. They go to like a super fancy private school just for rich kids to become J-pop rap battlers.
Oh, so they're fucking like they're like the kids going to like Hollywood acting high school.
Basically, yeah.
Oh God, I hate that.
And so the first episode sets up that 10 years before the setting of the story, a famous venue along with a famous band just disappeared from the face of the earth overnight. And when I say disappeared, I mean literally like the building disappeared.
Wait, their whole building disappeared?
Yeah. And then suddenly out of nowhere, it reappears floating on an island stage out in Tokyo Bay. And lots of different musical acts get sent invitations saying that they are invited to come to a all-out musical battle of the bands.
A battle of the bands?
Yeah.
Wow. Why would any band do that?
Because if they win the battle of the bands and then win a final boss battle against the disappeared famous band, I'm trying to remember their name, but if they win, then they get $100 million billion.
They get all the money in the world. That's what they've been promised.
Yes.
So these people who are already rich beyond most humans' ability to comprehend decide that they're going to go to a battle island on the off chance.
Well, they get personally invited.
Okay, they get personally invited to this battle island on the off chance that they will make even more money.
Correct, yes.
I fucking hate these people. I hate them.
Yeah,
I hate them and I hate this show.
Well, okay, so one of them, the shonen kid, Suzaku, he is an orphan, I want to say. So he wants the money so that he can become the best rap battler and prove everyone wrong that looked down on him for being an orphan, I guess.
You know what makes you a really good rapper? Being rich.
Yeah.
That's what has all the best rappers. That's where they are. Like once Jay-Z made that first billion, that's when he really hit his stride. Everybody says that.
And then the Sasuke of the group, Hujin, he is he's half Korean and like he's a bastard to a wealthy conglomerate owner. And so his goal is to get the money and buy his way back into the family and replace his dad as the head of the Zaibatsu.
He's a revenge guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the girl is just a girl.
She's just girl.
Yeah. Her parents are diplomats or something.
No agency, no personal character motivations.
I'm sure those will come later.
Just girl.
And so from there, you kind of you get them set up as characters, and then we get a sequence of seeing all the other bands that they're going to compete against get their invitations.
Yeah.
So they're a 3-man group. Bay. And then there's like a sexy bad boy band that's the villain group.
In sync.
Yeah, it's 5 NSYNCs, so 25 guys. And what? There's a duo act that's like 2 androgynous-looking brothers that have some kind of mysterious past, because there was a fan that encountered them outside of the stadium that seemed to recognize them, but they didn't recognize him. And then the dark horse contender is, it turns out that their singing teacher is also entering as a duo act with his partner.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's... I don't know.
You sound baffled.
This sounds like the most boring shit I have ever heard.
Oh yeah, it was really boring. I didn't like it.
Yeah, it sounds bad.
Also, I just want to throw out that for a story that is presumably about rap battling with the best rap battlers around the world, there were no black people in the cast. I'll just say that.
Wait, is it specifically rap battles?
Yes. Yes.
Oh, you should have led with that, because that is the most
Oh,
amazing
did
part.
I forgot to mention that they don't call themselves pop stars. Their preferred term within the industry is phantom rappers.
Holy shit, man, that sucks so bad.
Because they use the phantom metal when they rap.
Oh, fuck, that sucks so bad. You know, it's hard to be like, oh, I hate when they appropriate my culture or whatever, because, like, obviously, you know. But this gives me serious, like, flashbacks to that fucking Skate the Infinity show, where the whole thing is about skateboard battles, and I could not stop cringing in a really painful, awful way. You know, skateboarding happens to be basically the only fucking cultural significance I can claim from my own hometown. It's like just seeing it warped into this disgusting form. Really, I found it like viscerally upsetting.
Okay, all right, hold on. Let me try and sell you on this one last time, okay?
Okay, you got one more line.
What if I told you that it was CG animated and rotoscoped at the same time?
Damn, are we talking about Bakshi?
I think Bakshi, he took some liberties with what you may or may not call rotoscoping.
So this isn't on Bakshi's level.
No. I don't want to get into Bakshi.
That's my motherfucking favorite Ralph. All right. I hate that. I don't want to think about
Can
that
I
anymore.
have you give a quantification of your hate? Maybe some kind of arbitrary number?
Arbitrary number? Yeah, I hate it. I hate it like a 50.
Yeah, okay, yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah. You
All
can
right.
make up your own context if you want. But that's a lot. It takes 50 hates.
50 hates.
Hates. Tell me about another one. I really don't want to think even 1 second more about
Okay,
that
all right. I
premise.
won't make you think about that anymore. Another one that I watched was I'm in love with the Villainess. Now, I have a feeling that you are familiar
Hell
with
yeah.
this already.
No, but I mean, I am familiar with the Villainous movement.
Ah, okay. Now, I haven't looked into this. If I had to guess, I would say this is
Yes.
probably a light novel adaptation.
Yes. Almost certainly.
Yeah.
Yes.
So the premise of this one is this is the looked for female isekai genre, the villainous genre.
Like we said before when we were talking about why did Ray Liana end up in the Duke's mansion. Mm-hmm. Is that what it's called? I think
Yeah.
that's what it's called.
How did Ray Liana end up in the Duke's mansion?
Yes.
We don't know. We never found out.
Yeah, much like the occasionally arbitrary descriptors like shonen, shoujo, seinen, joshi, or whatever. Mm-hmm. This is not a particularly well defined space, but there is a dichotomy here between the isekais and the villainesses. I would say these are two opposing forces within the another world continuity, sort of.
Yeah.
So I don't always want to. It feels weird to lump them in to our most hated and loathed genre, isekai, because they have their own rules and they are fairly distinct in a lot of different ways.
And boy, do we hate it here, folks. Make no mistake.
That's the thing, is like Ray Liana is not like most isekais, you know, and it doesn't have the same awful shit that's in isekais. It has its own awful shit and it has its own stupid, boring shit, but I do feel that they are distinct products, cultural products.
Well, okay, so this I'm in love with the Villainess is about a rundown, haggard office worker, a lady who likes to play otome games, boyfriend romance games, and
a sad adult in a state of arrested development.
Yes. Just like me, for real. And one day she goes home to play her favorite otome game, and she dozes off while playing it and wakes up And wouldn't you know it, she's the main character now.
Hell yeah. That's what I'm talking about.
And it's really, you know, compared to other, I'm just going to call him isekai, whether the distinction stands. But, you know, she didn't die. She didn't get hit by a truck. She didn't get teleported. I think, like, literally we're just set up to think that she's just kind of dreaming.
Or having a serious mental break.
Yeah. Oh, well, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I should mention that the last thing that she sees before drifting off is her TV screen glitching out.
Great.
And she wakes up in class, and she's getting, right off the bat, she's getting bullied by the story's bully.
Oh, no.
And here's the thing, though. She's into it.
So let me ask you this. Obviously, it's called I'm in Love with the Villainess.
Mm-hmm.
Was this office lady chick... Was she gay before she got sucked into the video game? Or did the video game make her gay?
I mean, I don't know. I honestly have been trying to figure that out because we don't get any setup.
That?
When I say that it starts with her falling in front of her TV screen, that's how it starts. That is scene 1. We get no setup for this character. She is an absolute blank slate to us, the audience, other than the fact that she really likes this game, and she doesn't like any of the boys. She loves the Villainess.
She's just a wet brain slotted into this protagonist hole.
Yeah.
Hole.
Honestly, it's not dissimilar to how certain people out there are playing certain games right now.
Am I right? Am I right, folks? Am I right? Now, see, the thing that really trips me up here is, you know, why is this her favorite otome game when all the romantic options are men, but when she...
because she is literally attracted to the bullying. Like, that's her thing.
So this is nothing to do with actually her sexuality. This is purely like primordial triggers in her brain being shot off.
Yeah, well, you know, it's a weirdly sanitized obsession. It is literally like someone playing with their favorite doll, you know, right? And pulling the string to get the voice line. And obviously she uses her vast superior knowledge of the game to be the best student in school and do better at everything than the Villainess.
Does the Otome game make you do homework like in Persona? Like how does she succeed at school?
Bro, dating sims are like 80% homework. They are stat grinders first and foremost.
Y'all are sick. That's like the most perverted shit I've ever heard. Like playing a video game that makes you do like math homework. Like I would put you out of your misery if I found you doing that.
Oh, and I should also mention that we have the added element that this is a magical world setting. Magic is involved.
Naturally.
And she is the best at magic.
Of course.
And so her whole plan is to use her superior knowledge of the game mechanics to make the ultra-competitive Villainess character constantly try and compete with her so that she's constantly getting attention. It's very sinister once you think about it.
Yeah, but from her perspective, they're not real people.
No, she is.
Whatever you do to them is essentially justified.
Well, I was thinking about that because I was wondering if a lot of the basis of this genre, and I'm not just like the Villainess or isekai, but specifically the getting trapped in a video game and then having superior knowledge of the game to, you know, cheat, basically.
Yeah, and if you die in the game, you die in real life.
Well, that's a given. You know, Frankie Muniz rules.
Right.
But I was wondering if that recurring theme in all of these kind of stems from being in the more, from like a more social hierarchy based like setting, because a big emphasis,
a class stratified society.
Yeah, because a big thing is like she is able to basically bypass all of this bullying because she knows it's not real, and she just talks to all of these like super stuck-up characters like regular people.
Right.
As opposed to diverting to the much more humble characteristics of her real-world self. An unleashing of your true desires, letting your id take over kind of a situation.
Sort of, I would say a commedia dell'arte situation, right?
Mm-hmm.
When you wear the mask, it frees you to play a persona, right?
Mm-hmm.
And isn't that truly the ultimate fantasy?
Well, it made me think of something someone told me about working for like an American company in Japan, where they said all of their Japanese coworkers love like working with the American managers because they don't have to like talk in formalities. Like they can just talk like a normal person.
Yeah.
And it makes things like 5 times more productive.
Yeah, that's cool.
And so she's basically doing that to speed run this game I don't know if her goal is to get this character to fall in love with her as much as it is to just get this character to pay attention to her because she likes playing with her doll.
Really, dog? Really? Because the show's called I'm in Love with the Villainess.
And I doubt that claim. I think that she's lying to herself and to the audience.
You think there's textual evidence to suggest that she is not actually in love with the villainess, and in fact this is some kind of like perverted role play that she's engaging in?
Well, I mean, whether or not she thinks that's definitely what she's doing.
That's definitely what's happening.
Yeah.
Like that's not in question. She's definitely doing some perverted role play.
Yeah, no, that's just the text of the story. That's just the plot of what's happening.
Honestly, again, I don't want to I go back to the whole dichotomy of Another Worlds, but villainous stuff tends to be that pretty much just that like most of the time. Like Ray Liana as an example, she's just into the like tacky romance part and she's like role playing that out because that's fun to do. There's contrived drama around a potential murder victim, but most of the time it's just her being like, oh, this is awesome. I get to do this stupid fantasy shit, and they're all, like, eating out of my hand. This is so fucking good.
I mean, wouldn't you?
Of course I would. I'm only human.
Everybody wants to go vamp a little bit. It's human nature.
I am only human, Nate.
I am only a ningen.
I am only ningen.
So, yeah, I don't know if I'm going to be going back to this one, but I thought the setup was cute. I thought it had a funny gag.
Sure. And it is, despite all of that, what we just said, it is still like 100% less repugnant than the average isekai.
That's true, yeah. No one was sexually assaulted, so that's a big plus.
Wait, no one?
Not a single one.
Holy shit.
Like I said, this is like a weirdly sanitized horny obsession.
Okay. I'm surprised, but okay.
Like, she likes the bullying, just not in a sexual way.
Uh-huh. Now that I find hard to believe. Okay, well, let's move on. What's next on the docket?
Okay, well, this one I brought up, and you started roasting me for even watching it. I checked out the first episode of Shangri-La Frontier.
Yeah, of course I roasted you, because this is about a gamer. The despicable gamer.
Listen, nobody hates gamers more than us. Nobody.
God's lowliest creature.
But I want to say that this anime also hates gamers. So it kind of balances out.
Oh, good. Thank God.
The premise of this is that our protag is a dude who the narrator rightly describes as a freak and a loser.
Cool.
And his hobby is, and again, we are in vaguely near future, not quite cyberpunk Japan. VR, like immersive VR headsets have taken off as the next big console.
Right.
Kind of technology. But that's really the extent of it. There's not like, we're not doing brain dives or anything like that.
Right. My real old man tendencies are going to come into their own when, like, people actually do start using VR for real, because I'm like so not on board. I will be the guy who's like, can you please just give me a fucking screen? I don't want to do this VR shit. Like at the bank or whatever.
They call them display-based games in this world.
Yeah. Like I was at a restaurant last week and they had the QR code menus. And I was like, fuck this.
Oh God, we are
this.
old. See, that reaction, that right there, that is old.
That's what I'm saying. It's like it's coming out because I hate even that level of like contrivance. It makes me mad. Anyway,
I had to learn how to use the QR reader on my phone, and I did not enjoy it.
hey, my fucking phone is an LG and they don't have a built-in QR reader, so I would have to go out and download one just to read the menu.
Download something?
Yes, I would have to download something to read a fucking menu.
God damn.
I hate this world. I wish I was in a video game.
Hold on, I need to go take my diabetes medication.
Do you think only old people get diabetes? He should have said Alzheimer's.
Listen, I didn't mean to offend any of the younger diabetes crowd out there.
Oh, I'm getting so old. I need to take my sickle cell anemia medicine.
Listen, I don't want to get into it.
Yeah. What about this VR gaming asshole? What's the deal with this?
Okay, well, I'm just gonna say I kind of like this. I thought that it had some good jokes, at least right up front.
No.
His deal,
no.
okay, so his deal is that he likes to buy crappy games and play them to break them, basically. Whether
Define crappy.
Buggy, not well reviewed, low player base online games. Generally a crappy game that you or I would consider. If I had to give an example, I don't know, Final Fantasy XIV before the overhaul.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So that's his deal. He likes to buy and play low reviewed bad games with the intent of either breaking them mechanically or breaking them systemically by exploiting the level up system or whatever.
Sure.
And his personal play style, he says this about him. This is a defining character trait. Is that he doesn't play with any equipable items besides weapons. No armor, no potions, nothing.
Why?
Because it lets him max out agility and luck in most RPG games, is his reasoning.
I fucking hate gamers. I hate them so fucking much.
Yeah. He's a min-maxer.
And I especially hate min-maxers.
And, to make up for this, he also usually makes the stupidest looking character model. Like, that's his thing, is he likes making stupid looking characters. And so
Okay, sure.
What got me is that the opening scene is we get his character, what turns out to be the ending cutscene of a game that he just beat. We start off with his character shrouded in shadow, can't see him, and then finally it reveals that he's naked except for a luchador mask. And as soon as the credits in the game that he just beat start to roll, the first thing he does is roundhouse kick the little elf girl that was the game's savior character because he hated her character so much.
Okay. All right. Sounds like gamer tendencies.
It was a very, very well animated scene, so it caught me off guard. They put production value into that kick.
They put budget into the kick. I gotcha.
Anyway, the actual premise of the story is that his local GameStop game employee recommends that since he's beaten all of the crappy games that they sell, he should try playing one of the good games.
Here's my suggestion for you, my dude. How about you play a good one?
Again, I'm a gamer, as much as I hate to admit it.
Ew.
I know. I don't like playing good games. I understand where this guy is coming from. I think good games are bad.
Are you trying to retroactively cover your ass here? Being like, actually, I knew it was bad. You didn't need to tell me. I knew it was bad the whole time. Okay. I was doing it on purpose.
I'm sweating a little bit now. But anyway, he starts up this new game called Shangri-La Frontier, and he's just amazed at how good it is. And that is where he basically leaves off the first episode. is he's playing a good game and he likes it.
Cool.
Now, there is a B plot. There's a girl from his class that has a secret crush on him.
No. Run,
So
girl.
I'm pretty sure where they're going is that he's gonna strike up a rivalry with this giant pro player that he's run into, right?
Yeah.
The biggest badass on the server is gonna turn out to be, wouldn't you guess it, the girl that has a crush on him.
Whenever you're playing a video game and you get into some kind of guild or rivalry and grow very close to like a person online, it's always someone you know, maybe even a family member.
Almost certainly.
Yeah. Now, why does he wear a bird head?
So
The only thing I know about this show.
yeah, well, that is again a result of his min-maxing, because this game starts you off with armor, but gives you the option of selling it during character creation, so that he was able to max out his starting money and buy the best weapon.
The old stalker method.
And so once he was able to buy the best weapon, the only equipable piece of armor that he had money left for was the bird mask, which he decided to wear because he didn't want people in the game knowing that it was him playing naked.
But how would they know that?
That's what I was asking.
How would they ever find that out?
I'm wondering if it was a translation thing and it was more like maybe he was just being polite so other players don't have to look at a naked body with a face.
It's better when there's a bird head.
Yeah.
Yeah, the nudity is easier to swallow. Now, I don't know if you've noticed this, but maybe this is just the consequences of living in a post-Drizzt Do'Urden society. But I noticed also on the poster he's dual wielding two different swords, very edgy looking swords, not a pun. Very grimdark looking swords. Now, this is something that pops up a lot in the manhwa side of the pond, and most notably in the solo leveling manhwa, that badasses always dual wield two swords or two daggers. That's just like what cool guy badasses
Well,
do.
I mean, to be fair, have you ever tried? Because it's a lot harder than it looks.
You saying it's true that only super badasses could ever dual wield something?
Yeah, I think only super badasses can hold one thing in each hand at the same time.
Do you think that's cool?
I mean, objectively. Objectively, having two swords is cool.
If you were hanging out like outside of a bar and you saw a guy and he was smoking two cigarettes, like
Cigarettes?
two cigarettes, one in each hand. He was dual wielding the cigarettes. Would that be cool?
No, that would be sad, I think. That would be more on the sad side.
Wow, see, this is where we split off. I think the two swords are sad. I think the two cigarettes are fucking cool. That sounds like a cool guy to me.
Now, the only thing cooler than two swords, to me, and again, I'm a 90s guy, right?
Yeah.
Is one big sword.
One big, huge
one
sword.
big sword that's bigger than two swords.
What about two big, huge swords?
Now we're getting into a little ridiculous territory here.
It's a hat on a hat.
Yeah. You don't need two hats.
Wow. Well, I hate that one. I'm never gonna watch it because everything you said, including the things you said you liked, make me feel sick.
Are you sure that's just not the COVID?
Oh, don't you dare jinx me. Don't you dare jinx me. I wish COVID on you, my friend. Okay, what you watched for? What's the last one?
Last thing I checked out was Ron Kamonohashi's Forbidden Deductions. Now, have you heard of this one?
I've not only heard of this one, I have read at least the first 2 or 3 arcs, cases of Ron Kamonohashi, deranged detective.
Okay, so that was you brought that up. I felt that obviously there's a difference in translation. They went for the anime title. They went with Forbidden Deductions, which I like more because I think the deranged detective kind of gives away the hook of the series, which is that he is in fact a detective that's deranged. He is kind of doing a Sherlock Dexter kind of thing.
Yeah, for the most part, his derangement is just being like a wacky and crazy guy. But then also sometimes he like goes full Hannibal Lecter and tries to talk people into killing themselves.
Okay, well, does he talk them into killing themselves? Because I kind of felt that he has mind control powers, like magic ones.
In the manga, he tries to talk people into killing themselves. Much like something I like more than Ron, ID Invaded, about people diving into virtual reality versions of DNA to do some like future crimes investigation shit.
That's some Minority Report shit.
It is absolutely Minority Report type shit. But the only people who can like mentally withstand being in a killer's mind is another killer. So the guy at ID Invaded is like on death row. But his whole thing is that he keeps talking his neighbors on death row into killing themselves.
Yeah, okay. All right.
So
a little bit of a
it's in the air.
Hannibal, a little bit of a Vince Vaughn in the cell.
Yeah, yeah, I guess so. Yeah. It's in the air. It's in the air.
Okay. Now, did you said you read the first 2 or 3 arcs. Did you like this? Did you like the manga?
I liked it up to a point. Now, I don't know if I've talked about it a little bit, but like other than death games, murder mysteries are sort of another pet genre of mine. Since like one of my first manga I ever owned was like an old Kendaichi Case Files
nice
manga, which is like just good shit. It's just very classic good shit. Kendaichi's a fun character. There's a new series of Kendaichi Case Files where he's like a middle-aged dude and he like works an entry-level job at a business, and it's like very sad. It's weird manga, I gotta say. I kind of respect it for taking the premise to that logical conclusion, but kind of sad. This one more goofy than sad, with just a little bit of a tinge of an edge, which I like. The murders aren't like serial killer shit, but they're like interesting enough to be like, oh, this is a fun detective story. Now, where it loses me, let me ask you this. Now, do you think it's possible that Ron Kamonohashi could possibly be a descendant of a famous detective?
I wonder if he could be a descendant of some kind of famous detective that is popular within pop culture.
Yeah, so you probably get maybe 10 issues in before it is revealed that he is of the Sherlock Holmes bloodline, which is one of the astoundingly stupidest things I have ever read in a manga, and unfortunately not the first time I've read it too. This happens in a lot of detective manga. It turns out somebody's related to Sherlock Holmes. Never Columbo. Like always Sherlock.
I mean, if you're going to be related to a detective who is famous for deductive reasoning and being eccentric, like, who are you going to choose?
Hey, May Gray is also famous for those two things. It's just that he's a sad sack instead of a drug addict.
Actually, yeah. How come none of these anime pro tags are ever related to Poirot?
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. Or Miss Marple, Like, what the fuck? I would buy somebody being related to anyone besides Sherlock, because Sherlock is an avowed anti-sexual. It's not just that he doesn't like sex, he's like actively against sex.
He looks down on the sex havers.
He's grossed out by it, but he's also like intellectually he considers it like below him.
Would you say that Sherlock is the original Volcel?
I think it's harder than that. I think there's like an edge to it, but it just makes the whole thing very unlikely in my mind. And also, at the same time that they reveal that Ron is a direct blood descendant of the Sherlock lineage, they also reveal out of nowhere his Moriarty rival, who holds the blood of the Moriarty family and their ancient secret traditions and techniques. Yeah.
Okay. All right. I see where this is going.
Hard to be enthusiastic about a detective story right after that,
See, okay, I'm just so interested to see, at least in the anime, because like they made it very explicit that he has like eye gaze mind control powers. His eyes glow when he's talking villains into killing themselves.
I think you might be interpreting a specific aesthetic inflection as a superpower. I'm not sure, but I think that's what's happening here.
I mean, is it different? He goes into a fugue state when he does it.
Yeah, because, like, most of the time he's being a goofy weirdo to, like, downplay the fact that he's actually deranged. Like, actually deranged, not just, like, a weirdo.
He just likes killing.
I think he likes taking revenge on murderers because he's one of those type of guys.
One of those killer types.
Yes, and you know what? That reminds me of the other thing that really, like, hit the brakes very hard on this series for me is it's also revealed that, like, he grew up in a special, like, Sherlock Holmes child academy that teaches young Sherlock Holmeses into being, like, great detectives. And he was
okay.
like the
All
best
right.
one, and he was disqualified from being like an elite detective teacher or faculty member because he was too deranged.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's a hair too far. That's
that's where it goes in the future. So you could look forward to that.
All right, well, I am definitely putting that below Paradox Live Phantom Rappers on my watch list.
Oh, boy, I'm glad you went with a nice bumper crop here. This was a good spread, actually. This is a good spread.
Yeah, I think I chose okay with these ones.
Yeah, it's fairly representative of the fall season. Let's take a break, and then we can go over the actual premiere list. How about that?
Sounds good.
So, Nate, I'm looking at the big list, and we've got a fair amount of anime. At least half this list just looks to me like money on fire, which is an unfortunate thing. But
Are we about to see the anime bubble burst finally?
you know, I really feel like we're getting close to a couple bubbles bursting here, anime included. But they still managed to crank out like 40, 50 shows this season, which is too much. Too many shows,
That's a lot of shows.
for one thing. But on the other hand, check this out. There's a fair amount of actually interesting things this season.
Oh,
Couldn't say too much about last season. There wasn't that many things. Maybe next episode we can do a wrap up there because all the shows should be pretty much over. But let's go down this list, this accursed list, and let's get a sort of a brief thought and then like a yay or nay, an interest or not interest, a watch or pass. How's that sound, Nate?
that sounds like a simple system. That's how I passed college.
I always forget you actually managed to get out of there.
Yep. I got the paper. They sent it to me.
Yeah, you got the paper in hand. That's crazy to me. I mean, truly an incredible achievement for somebody who can't read.
Yeah, it's true. That really speaks more to the California college system than anything.
I mean, honestly, it baffles me.
Can you believe they give out degrees in journalism?
It seems like one of the craziest things you've ever heard in your life, but it's true.
Next thing you'll tell me you can major in communications. Okay, all right.
So we did start a little late. Some of these shows have already got a couple episodes out, so I apologize for this, but this is technically the shows of fall 2023. Right at the top, we've got something that's kind of interesting to me because this has been living on my to-read list for like a long time, and I've never gotten around to it. But Soso no Frieren.
Frieren.
Frieren. It sounds bad either way. Oh, God.
Beyond Journey's End.
Beyond Journey's End. Elf Girl : Beyond Journey's End. This is almost, in my mind, this is a direct sequel to Record of Lodoss War.
Oh, okay. So it's heavily D&D based.
I don't know about the actual systems, but Deedlit, of course, is very famously Deedlit, and the main character, the boring fantasy boy, do have a relationship in Record of Lodoss War, with the old Aragorn and his girlfriend problem. What was her name?
Arwen. Come on, man.
Arwen.
Liv
Aragorn
Tyler.
and the old Aragorn and Arwen problem being that Deedlit is going to live for like another 1,000 years, and little human boy is going to be in the ground very soon.
Yeah.
Now, that's depressing, which is why they didn't put that in the other sequels to the Record of Lodoss War, except for the video game. That, again, I will pimp, because like that Metroidvania Deedlit in Wonder Labyrinth game is so fucking good.
It was really
and
tight.
Actually, it deals with exactly this thing, which maybe is why I'm thinking about it that way. The story of Deedlit in Adventure Labyrinth is that Deedlit has been wandering for a long time after all of her comrades are dead, from the adventuring.
Mm-hmm.
And she ends up in this like kind of fantasy prison thing where she is constantly taunted by the memories of her companions.
Dude, that's fucked up.
I know, it's really fucked up. It's a great game. Anyway, so this is basically Deedlit's story from that game, except she's not caught in any traps. She's outlived her companions, and now has to like reorient her life to a like post adventure stage, I guess.
Okay.
And her human friends are all dead or dying now, and she has to make peace with that and like move on from the most eventful sequence of events in her entire life, right? Defeating the Demon Lord.
Okay, wow, I hate her.
You immediately hate her.
Yeah. Another story about the Lament of the Immortal. Fuck that.
Hey, it's hot right now. That's a very hot subject matter.
It's just like, if I was immortal, I think I'd get over it. That's all I'm saying.
You'd be okay with it.
Yeah.
You'd be like, I'm taking all of this in stride. I actually think watching all of my friends and family die is cool. It's actually cool and good.
I'm just saying, if you have lemons, make lemonade.
Well, that is not my problem with no friend.
You can just use the English title, dude.
My problem was that now I'm not against this premise, right? I think the premise is actually interesting and touching. The problem for me is that sounds very maudlin and sad. So I kept putting it off because like I don't want to get, I'm down for a bummer sometimes, but not all the time.
I mean, just doesn't Fire Punch do this premise in a much more interesting way?
Yes, but Beyond Journey's End is not about like a living nightmare. It's more about like living a regular life after like a big series of events in your life. It's more about like moving on and doing something else with your life than like living in literal hell.
That sounds like boring adult shit.
Yes, which makes its success and eventual anime kind of puzzling. But again, I haven't read it. I will watch the first episode and get back to you.
Well, Gen Z is only growing more maudlin by the day.
Yes, truly. I see their sunken eyes as I wander the streets.
I can see how it would resonate when you put it that way.
Yeah, so what do you think? You gonna watch this one?
Yeah, I'll give it a shot. Now, I just looked up this one a little down on the list because the title is so long, and I was trying to figure out what it says, so I put it through the translator, and it is called There Is No Way for You, Who Has Experience, and Me, Who Has No Experience, to Be in a Relationship.
Oh, yeah, I think that's the slut-shaming one.
Yeah, no, I'm looking up the synopsis. That's basically it. This is kind of like one of those gal-girlfriend, romance genre. Nerdy guy gets uplifted by an outgoing girl who has more romantic and life experience than him.
Yes.
I've said it before, but it seems that Japan is just discovering the manic pixie dream girl. or at least just really leaning into it.
Well, I would say we're seeing a horrible, horrible trend with the obsession with body count right now. And this is basically an anime about, like, is it okay to date a girl with high body count? Like, that's the premise of the show.
I mean, I don't know. To me, the answer is none of your goddamn business.
Gross. It's just like, if you care about that kind of shit, you're a massive fucking loser.
Yeah, if you care about that at all, like, you shouldn't be in the relationship. Like, I can already tell this kid, just by looking at the promo cover, this kid's a piece of shit.
Yeah, don't like him. Right off the bat, don't like him. I
don't like his haircut, don't like his shirt. He's another loser dating way above his league. It's
insane to be so afraid of being upstaged by a dude who's not even fucking your girl anymore. That's what I'll say about that. That's my final thought on that horrible anime.
All right, what else caught your eye?
Well, I mean, just moving along linearly. Obviously, Fulikuli Shoegaze has started. You did at least attempt to watch the other reboots.
So I watched the first two reboots that Adult Swim did. I guess the next ones coming out are Fulikuli Alternative and Fulikuli Shoegaze, which I know Alternative, I think, is getting a lot of flack right now because the trailer revealed that it was going to be mostly CG animated in a much different style than the previous character models.
Sure. Okay.
Haven't watched the trailer yet, but I saw some screen grabs, and I don't know if I'm excited for either of these just after what I saw with the other two. I won't linger too much on it, but essentially it's like, you watch Fulikuli, did we need more? I don't think the answer was yes. I would almost always prefer something new to some, like, reheated shit, but I actually did hear a couple of things that piqued my interest about this new Shoegaze one, but I know next to nothing about it, so I might check that out. That's a might. That's a maybe for me. Well, what'd you hear about it?
I just heard that this is better than the previous ones.
Okay.
And that it has more of its own identity. So that makes me more interested.
I mean, that's kind of what I was hoping when I first heard about the Adult Swim producing these.
Yeah.
I was kind of hoping that they would do much more of a, I don't know what a good example is, but something where it's not a sequel or even necessarily tied in, just something
an American Horror Story.
Yeah, an American Horror Story, exactly.
Yeah.
Something that reflects the vibe, but it doesn't have to be tied down to the original, with reference.
Yeah, loosely hold on to the same cast, but, like, reinterpret them.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And reinterpret the story into something new. Yeah. I don't
know.
We'll see.
Again, okay, when you say it like that, that's kind of what they did, except they reinterpreted the cast into more of the same, if that makes sense. I saw what they were going for, but when they went for it, they couldn't actually do anything different or exciting.
Sure. They were just running in place.
Exactly, yes. So, yeah. I was not super down on those, but, I'll give these a shot. I love Fulikuli.
I love Fulikuli. Loving a thing makes you want to do another thing. Everybody knows this.
It's the highest form of manipulation.
Yes.
Is getting someone to like you.
The next one is Ragna Crimson, which is something I spent a little while talking about a while back as something I had been reading. I don't really like Ragna Crimson very much. I don't hate it, but it has a central problem, something that actually I had talked about just the other day, but, like, the premise in this is that, like, a young girl is the best dragon hunter in the fantasy world. And this, like, kind of weak-ass little dude is following her around, basically being her sword caddy.
Mm-hmm.
But he's, like, totally into it because she's awesome, and he, like, really loves and respects her, and they have a good relationship together, and he feels like they're doing this great work. But the second some anime shenanigans go down where he gets, like, super powered, he basically accidentally goes Super Saiyan one day and immediately ditches her because he's like, I'm the powerful one now. And the thing I liked about Ragna Crimson was the relationship between those two characters, and that is almost immediately dumped. Which drove me crazy. Even if the rest of the comic was interesting to me, which some parts are, I still have a hard time moving on from the dumping of that central relationship.
Now, is this related to that phenomenon you were talking about the other day where, you'll set up a couple, an interesting relationship between two characters, and then you just dump one for the other one to become a shonen protagonist?
Yes, exactly. Or sideline them to the point where they're just like part of the cast instead of being like a central figure.
Yeah.
This happens a lot. Yes, and Ragna Crimson is the biggest example of this, I think, because it's so egregious. And because it's not just that he like splits off to do his own thing, he like actively moans about like how much he misses her and wants to see her and protect her for a long, long time.
Wow, what a loser.
I think we're like, I don't know, 50 chapters into the manga or whatever, and he's only now finally like calming down on that front, like not mentioning it all the time. But mainly because he just had his first crush, so like I guess,
Well, I mean, you got to grow up sometime.
Yeah, when you get a new girl, it's like, you got other things on your mind. Anyway.
Yeah, when all you anime fans get that girl.
Yeah, it's weird because also, putting that stuff aside, there is sort of a weird thing where a lot of Ragna Crimson is like, what if One Punch Man wasn't like a joke, I guess?
Well, isn't that... I mean, that's kind of what stuff like Mashal is about.
Mashley?
Mashal.
Good old Mashal.
It's a valid pronunciation.
Mashal. No, I mean, well, except like Mashley is just a gag comic. Well, it's all jokes.
Yeah. Okay, so
the whole thing
if
is
One Punch Man wasn't a joke, isn't that the premise of My Hero, though?
No, because like Deku, he is very strong, but like he fights people seriously, right? Like he gets his ass beat all the time. In Ragna Crimson, Ragna, our main character, through again anime shenanigans, immediately inherits like an entire lifetime's worth of sword and magic training, just kind of downloads into his brain.
Whoa!
And within a couple minutes of this happening, he becomes the most powerful actor in the entire world. Like, it cannot be touched.
Okay.
And so he sets out on his journey, and whenever he has to fight, he just immediately annihilates everything in his path. Like One Punch Man. Like,
sure.
He swings his sword, and like a bad guy who's been hyped up as like the most apocalyptic creature, it incinerates or turns into dust or explodes or splatters like a water balloon. It's that kind of thing.
All right. I mean, I like explosions.
Yeah, I don't know. It's a very mixed bag. I don't know what the anime would do for me when the manga kind of turned me off. So I think that one's a pass for me.
All right. Well, what else we got here? Going back to...
What about you? What about you? What do you think? What do you think about Ragna?
Is it a pass? Yeah, that's a pass for me.
It's a pass for you.
Yeah, shonen is real hard to sell me on overall, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm looking at the picture. It looks like, it's like the Westworld, I don't see anything here meme.
Yeah. I think if you took the text off this like promotional image that they have, it would just look like Black Clover to most people, unfortunately.
Which is also a pass.
Yeah, I very much do not like Black Clover. But anyway, that's not on the list.
Not on the list.
So the next couple are what we talked about already. Shangri-La, which is pass for me because dirty gamers, and Ron Kamonohashi, which is also a pass for me because I fell off the manga pretty hard.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
The next one that's kind of interesting on this list is MF Ghost, which is, of course, the spiritual successor of Initial D. And I never read the manga because, no offense, I really like Initial D, and I'm not against bad art styles, but it is like one of the ugliest things And it's like the ugliest comic you've ever seen.
Now, are we talking about, you're talking about Initial D?
I'm talking about MF Ghost, but Initial D too, kind of, because they, it's the same author.
Oh, is it the same author? It's an actual follow-up.
Yes, Spirit is an actual spiritual sequel. This one's set in the future, but it's still just car drivings.
That's a pass for me.
That one's hard for me because I do really like Initial D, but I do not think I'm going to get into the MF Ghost.
I don't like Initial D. I know it's a classic. I know people love it, but I just don't give a shit about cars, and I think that guy's art style is really ugly.
Yeah.
I can't read. Do you think they let me drive?
Yeah, how would you be able to tell what the red and the green mean?
Exactly.
If you can never look it up in a book. Okay, so I'm in love with the Villainess. We talked about this. I think that's going to be a pass for me. After that, we have Shy. Something I talked about pretty recently, right?
Yeah, you did. And this just eked out getting on my watch list for today. It was the next one lined up.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
So that's already a watch for you then.
Yeah, that's already a go for me. This is the one about superheroes. Some kind of event happens. There's a world war. People get superpowers. And our protagonist, super heroine, is a super strong girl who is just very shy.
Yeah.
That's her biggest weakness, is that she has social anxiety.
Well, sort of, yeah. I mean, the way it's framed is more like every country in the world has like their own representative superhero, and she is Japan's representative, and she's really embarrassed about that because like she doesn't think she's very good at it, right?
Uh-huh.
And that's the central conflict. She has to wrestle with her feelings of inadequacy while also carrying out her beliefs about justice. That's the central conflict.
Did you ever read a comic called Empowered?
No.
It's a very similar in premise, other than the fact that it's like a straight up boner comedy where the main joke is that the main heroine's costume like makes her super strong, but it's constantly, getting ripped in revealing ways.
Oh, you like Witchblade?
Yeah, like Witchblade, but like, like a spoof on Witchblade.
Yeah.
That reminded, the way you described Shy reminded me of that comic.
Well, luckily Shy is like not a boner comedy. They play it very straight and sincere. Though I will say they almost immediately introduce our main character to the Russian representative. Her only main character traits are that she's overbearing, has a very strong accent, and is always drunk. So, cool, guys.
So she's basically the same character as the Russian girl from that workout anime that I was watching.
I guess so, yeah. They have a very specific idea of Russians, and nothing can shake that. So that kind of tells you what you need to know about the particular complexity of the narrative in Shy. I liked Shy, but like in the way that is a passive like, and that I did not hate it. I'm not sure I'm gonna keep reading it. Maybe I'll watch episode 1 because I'm curious about Studio 8-bit, but otherwise I don't know. What do you think?
Well, it's already a go for me.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Yes. All right. So blah blah blah. Let's move on. We've got various isekais. Don't read any of those because I do want to play Isekai Roulette again at some point. Skip over those. There's a new Tokyo Revengers. I'm not even going to talk about it because I hate Tokyo Revengers so much. New Uma Musume. I know you're watching that.
Oh,
you're
baby.
Right on that.
I got to make that scratch back.
Yeah. You know what's weird is that their horse ears look a lot more like cat or fox ears than horse ears.
Yeah.
What's up with that?
Well,
Is this a cow situation? You need to use cow ears because horse ears don't look like horse ears.
Yeah. Listen, horse girls don't look like horse girls on screen. You got to paint a cowgirl.
You got to use a fox girl.
Yeah.
I know you're very excited for that one, but let's move on here. There's one called Kami Erabi God.app, which I'm only interested in because it's a death game, and I don't even need to explain why. I'd be into that. It looks sort of on the death match side of death games, sort of like a Mirai Nikki, a Future Diary kind of spin-off thing. That's what it seems like to me. And despite Future Diary being, let's call it messy, I still liked it quite a lot. So, if this can pull off the same thing, I'd be pretty stoked. What do you think about this Wish-based death game premise?
Well, I feel like I haven't really touched my toes into a lot of death games beyond Battle Royale yet, so in the spirit of improving myself and expanding my horizons, I'll give that a watch.
Yeah, I mean, just to see where I'm coming from.
I need to get inside the mind of the madman.
Yeah, exactly. This is maybe not the one I would start with, but it's not it's from the description, it seems pretty bog standard death game stuff, and I'm down. So I'll at least one episode for me. Put me down for one episode.
All right. We're both down for one episode.
Okay, let's see what else we've got.
I know that you're super excited for what was that one about the girlfriends and the girlfriends? Girlfriend?
Girlfriend? You mean that manga that you read all of?
Listen, we're not talking about me right now. All I know is that you've been nonstop yammering in the Discord about how excited you are to finally have 2 more girlfriends.
Yeah. I really feel like polycules are like just so dominant in the cultural space right now. It's just something that we should be examining from all angles in our fiction. And, girlfriend maybe is not the most positive representation of a modern polycule. It's, I appreciate having it in the mix.
Do we?
No, I fucking hate girlfriend. That shit sucks so fucking bad.
So you're going to watch it?
Oh, God. Unfortunately, the saddest thing is I can't say no. I actually might. I don't know. Here's one. This is great. This one's called Under Ninja. This is about a school shooter type who accidentally lucks into a job being an international assassin. But check this shit out. It's not just a regular international assassin agency. This is a joint venture international anti-terrorism assassination agency built by the U.S. right after World War II.
Of course.
And worldwide ninjas are trained through the Allied Forces Japan-based anti-terrorist assassin.
This sounds like a Metal Gear prequel.
Yeah, it's one of the most insane. This is something we've talked about every once in a while, but like what's great about anime is its complete obliviousness to its own political ramifications. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Anime constantly comes out and poses the most juvenile fucking thought experience that you would have like stoned in your freshman year at college kind of thing, but treats them without like any intellectual curiosity at all. So we're constantly getting anime that's like, hey, what if like all the countries in the world were cute anime girls and they all had to hang out? And you're like,
okay, hold on.
Some of those cute anime girls are currently invading the other ones.
Okay, hold on. But bro, what if instead of the Olympics, we had robot fights?
Man, that sounds dope as hell. I wonder if there's any political ramifications to that.
What if instead of having wars, we just did the Olympics every year?
Bro, check this shit out, right? Check this shit out. What if you like took an ethnic group of people and instead of like killing them all, you like put them in like a big prison for so long that they forget that they're in prison? Isn't that like fucking crazy, dude? Isn't that like the craziest shit you ever heard?
That's
Attack on Titan.
That's Escape from New York.
No, they very much know that they're in prison in Escape from New York. They do know they're in prison. In fact, that's pretty much the only thing they ever talk about. Anyway, so Under Ninja has a hilariously complicated and politically inconvenient premise that I thought was very funny. Now, if it's self-aware, that might actually be a cool show. I doubt it, though. I doubt it. So I think that might be an episode 1 for me, but that's a real iffy episode 1.
You know what? It reminded me of my Lord and Savior Kojima-sama. So I'm gonna give it a watch in honor of him.
Koji Pro?
Yeah.
All right, that's disgusting. What's next? It's really funny just on seeing these lists in particular, just all laid out for you. It is very humbling, to put it lightly. The actual spread, you can really see the demography at work when you see the entire spread of anime, where it's like 99% of this is like stupid fucking like sexy power fantasies for teenagers, and then you see like one show that's like maybe for adults, and it's called some shit like My New Boss is Goofy. And it's just like, man, I don't want to be like just stuck in this like rut where we're just watching various levels of complex children's shows, and the only alternative is some bullshit about office workers having a goofy day at lunch or whatever. Like, it really bums me out that these are our 2 options.
I understand the sentiment, but do you understand, like, the format of the stuff we review?
We review now?
Well, talk about. I'm just saying, I'm not sure what you're expecting from anime.
I'm just saying, usually I could put that thought on the back burner, but when you lay it all out in front of me, it does make me a little sad. Okay, anyway, moving on. We've got... What else? I mean, Spy Family Season 2 is obviously a lock. I don't even need to talk about it.
Oh, absolutely. I'm literally on the edge of my seat. I cannot wait for more Spy Family.
Yeah, I love Spy Family. I love that the theme on this website lists it as childcare. That's the childcare genre of anime.
Oh, okay. Hold on. I'm going to click that link and see what else it brings up.
You want to see what else?
Yeah.
Wolf Children, obviously. Beelzebub, yes.
Barakamon.
Yeah. Probably that one about the Yakuza dad. Tokyo Godfathers, that makes sense.
Yeah, okay.
Somali and the Forest Spirit, I like that one, actually.
Mm-hmm.
That Buddy Daddies, that's that Spy Family ripoff.
Yep.
Do I recognize any of these other ones? Kotaro Lives Alone is not childcare. That's the opposite of childcare. That child cares for itself.
Yeah, that's all. I am familiar with that. That's a incredibly depressing premise to me.
Really dark.
Like, that's literally a child that everyone is just cool with letting him live on his own.
Yeah, I watched a couple episodes of that. I didn't get to the part that explains why he doesn't have parents.
Is he a forever child? Like,
man, I don't know.
Is this a Benjamin Button type situation?
It's intriguing, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, kind of makes you want to watch more of the show. Anyway, besides Spy Family, let's move on here. The Kingdoms of Ruin. This is actually on my to talk about list, you'll notice.
Really?
This just got an anime as well, and it's coming out October 7th. This is the kind of edgy, grimdark fantasy, sci-fantasy series. It is about a world where humanity is genociding all the witches in the world.
Oh no, not the witches.
Yeah, and one of the witches has a human companion. And the human companion and the witch are caught. The witch is killed in a truly fucking unnecessarily gruesome public spectacle. The apprentice swears revenge. Many years later, he begins genociding humans in revenge. That's the plot pretty much summed up.
So straightforward.
Yeah, it's very much edgy, grimdark shit.
And why is this on the list?
Just because I had read it, and this is getting its anime. And the thing is, I don't even hate it that much. There are touches in it that I kind of like. I wonder if it matures and outgrows the edgy bullshit. But just throwing it out there in case you're interested, it does at the beginning, it front loads a lot of edgy bullshit. So, take that as you will.
All right. I'm going to pass on that.
You have no stomach for edgy bullshit.
It's true. As I grow on in years, as my hair grays, and as the leaves begin to fall off the trees, I find that I can only handle maybe 50 to 60 gallons of edgy bullshit, as opposed to the vast quantities I consumed when I was younger, a child.
Yeah, it's just at some point you've seen it all, you know? Nothing's truly shocking. It's just tedious.
You know, at a certain point, I actually want to be surprised by feeling a positive emotion for once.
I wish you luck, but I don't like your chances. Anyway, so the next one on the list is 100 Girlfriends, which we briefly discussed already. That's getting its own anime.
It's objectively a better premise than Girlfriend.
It is. I like it more than Girlfriend. I think the first few issues, so probably like the first 3 or 4 episodes, are the strongest it ever is and probably ever will be. So I'm definitely going to watch the first couple episodes.
I will check it out. Just because I want to compare it to my favorite manga of all time, Girlfriend.
Yeah, we'll definitely be talking about that one. Okay, next up. This is one that's interesting because I actually had just read some of this. This one's called Stardust Telepath. Now, this is essentially about the Chunin disease, like straight up.
Okay, so we got a depressed little kid who has a superiority complex.
Well, in this one, it's a girl, and girls aren't allowed to have superiority complexes because they must be demure. Society demands it. This girl is so demure that it is actually affecting her life. She cannot bring herself to talk to people. She really, really wants to. She wants to make friends. She wants to do small chat and all this shit, but she just can't do it. She's like locked in her head about it, you know? You know when you have too many thoughts and you just can't get words out?
I can't read.
You could think, though, right? Well, maybe not. I don't know. Do you have an inner monologue?
Cue the Nico Robin cat gif.
Yeah, this girl has a very strong inner monologue. It's going all the time. And her sincerest wish is that maybe somewhere out in the stars, there's some kind of alien life form that's telepathic. Because then you don't even have to talk. It would just read your mind, right? Wouldn't that be convenient?
No, that would be horrifying to me. Talking is a much more efficient.
It gives you a little bit of a buffer, right?
Yeah, you don't want to give someone full access.
I also feel like the buffer is good, but this girl is she does not have that concern. So when a cute girl transfers into her class one day, she gets her hopes up that maybe this girl's an alien. And when the girl comes over and basically like kisses her on the forehead, they communicate telepathically.
Okay, all right. I hate this girl. She is a Shinji Ikari. That is exactly like the whole instrumentality. Wouldn't it be great if we never had to communicate with intention?
If people could do all the emotional labor for me. Yeah, exactly.
I hate that, and I hate her.
Yeah. It's cute, but probably more on the, like, sickly sweet side of cute.
Saccharin, they call it.
Saccharin, exactly, yes. The maraschino cherry of manga premises. I might watch the first episode because I did actually like a lot of the art in it, and I thought, you know, as saccharin sweet as it is, it's not an offensive premise. But we'll see.
Yeah, pass for me.
Pass for you. Mm-hmm. All right. I mean, that's pretty much the list. We've got Dead Mount Deathplay Season 2.
Yeah, we've got some Season 2s on here.
Dr. Stone New World Season 2. New World Part 2, excuse me. That's obviously a different thing from a Season 2.
Obviously, we are both looking forward to Rise of the Shield Hero Season 3.
Oh, yeah. I can't wait to hear more explanations about why slavery is not that big of a deal.
Yeah. You'd think they'd let the topic go, but they just keep bringing it up.
The dude just keeps talking about it. He can't shut up about it. He's like really invested in this slavery thing. And the final thing on the list here is they're doing a series of like toilet-bound Hanako-kun shorts. San?
It doesn't sound like she's toilet-bound anymore, though. It's called After School Hanako-kun.
It's a he. Sexist. Hanako-kun actually isn't locked into the bathroom. Hanako actually can go anywhere on the school grounds, okay? Duh. It's like you don't even know Hanako-kun at all. It's kind of embarrassing, dude.
I'm very embarrassed right now.
In this series of shorts...
for a lot of reasons.
We get a brief look at what Hanako and Nene do when they're not hunting ghosts. That's it.
All right. Pass.
The thing is, I really like Hanako-san. I think like the series has been really strong and only gets stronger as it goes on. And I don't know, the manga has an incredibly good art style, like truly unique and weird and interesting. And some of that actually got reflected in the manga that the anime that came out a little while ago. Which I was really surprised. Like, they actually went for it. Not all these anime try to adapt the actual art style itself. So that's always kind of a nice treat. So I'm already invested in Hanako. I don't know if I'll watch the shorts, but it is something I actually like. So that brings us pretty much to the end. Everything else looks like complete fucking garbage or is an isekai.
Come on, you're not excited for I'm giving the disgraced noble lady I rescued a crash course in being bad?
No, I mean, that is obviously an incredibly compelling premise. Who knows? That's the thing, is I'm not locked into anything. I always throw in a surprise when I'm watching a new season. You always got to throw in a wild card.
Always. You need the wild card. You need the element of danger to make it exciting.
Yeah, exactly. You know what? I might pick up Yuzuki-san chi no yonkyu dai. Maybe I'll throw one of those.
Tell
in
me
there.
what you just said. What do those words mean?
Yuzuki-san chi no yonkyu dai. Something about having 3 brothers.
It's just called Three Brothers.
It's just three brothers. No, there's 4 of them. Wow, that's amazing.
This is my brother Daryl. This is my other brother Daryl.
My other brother Daryl. I was just listening to Bloodhound Gang the other day. I don't want to get into that any further, so let's wrap it up. That's our fall season sampler plate. I think we're all pretty excited. This does seem like a good season. Better than the last one, even though obviously last one had some heavy hitters.
Yeah, absolutely, but always forward, ever onward.
Always forward, ever onward. We must churn through. And maybe in the next couple episodes we can talk about like what we actually did watch from last season, because I would love to talk about Helk and Dark Gathering and Jujutsu, obviously.
Oh, gotta get that Jujutsu in there while it's hot.
I would like to actually talk about what I thought was interesting about that stuff. Gene of AI was a big one that I didn't think was going to be good, but it actually turned out to be pretty good.
Yeah, you were talking about that in relation to our recent playthroughs of the Cyberpunk DLC too, so that does sound interesting.
Yeah, there is some weird Cyberpunk overlap. There's some stuff to compare there, which is kind of fun. Maybe we'll get into that.
Yeah, we do. Is that it?
Fuck. We also got to talk about some more of these live-action anime adaptations. Of course, we're still working through that. We'll probably have something next episode. I've got a couple more I'm actually excited about, so that we'll see how that goes. Anything else on the docket? You still got to watch motherfucker, just lagging behind on these Fate series. You really got to catch up.
I keep hoping you forget about it because I hate that shit.
No, I'm never going to forget about it. I demand you do that. I demand it of you.
All right. The deal is I watch it or you do get several of my appendages. So I've got to cut my tongue off in repentance.
I want the tongue. I want the toes. Yeah, so, well, that was anime. We did anime.
Another week of anime. We're still here.
Another week of anime. We're doing anime. We talked about a lot of anime this time. There's a lot of diversity there. We love diversifying our portfolio of anime.
You gotta diversify.
Yeah, and with that, I think that's your anime for the week. We did a bunch of anime for you. What more do you want?
Take this knowledge and go out into the world, dear listener.
Yes, we've burdened you with knowledge, and now, for another week, may you enjoy anime.
Bye.
Bye. Fucking anime.